Hi, this is Daniel Hutchins, and today we're going to be doing a mega long video. So today's mega long video is going to be a little bit something different and something a little bit special. Okay, so we're going to be doing a couple of different things in this mega long video. First off, I have to tell you guys that I am extremely sorry that I couldn't post the Marvel Insider check-in of 415. So, in disregards from that, I decided in the best of interest for all you faithful followers and subscribers on channel Daniel Hutchins, I would want you all to tune in to this video because I am doing a mega long video, and it will be consistent of different parts. First part, it's going to have the Marvel Insider check-in, like as promised. But of course, keep in mind it's overdue now, so this is an overdue video that I decided I'd do special for you because, again, you guys are my family, you guys are my friends, and I wouldn't be here on YouTube without you guys. So again, kudos to everybody. And again, so on a long note, I just want to also say that this mega long video will consist of other things besides the Marvel Insider check-in that was supposed to be done yesterday, but I was busy, so I'm going to be posting it with today's video in this mega long video. And so this mega long video will have Marvel Insider check-in of 4/16/21, and it will also have a lot of extra bonuses. Now, this mega long video is going to be the longest mega long video on record, and I'm going to be doing a lot of article discussions. So there's going to be a lot of news, there's going to be a lot of updates, and a lot of awesome content about the comic book universe. So some of that stuff will include upcoming movies that are going to be coming to comic book universe, and also other parts of the comic book universe as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start this first part of this mega long video, and it is going to be the Marvel Insider check-in. So I'm still a level elite till next New Year's. I have 134,591 points to reach the True Believer, and I have 38,000 points that I could use for rewards. And of course, I was doing activities yesterday, but I forgot to make a video, so of course that's why I'm going to be doing a video today. So enough of that now, I'm going to be doing some articles. Okay. Maybe I might be super nice and I might play some videos. Of course, you're not going to be able to see the videos, but at least you can listen to them. So we're going to be knocking out the videos because that's mostly what I have left. We're going to be doing the Riot Russell John Walker Answers Your Questions from Ask Marvel. And of course, you could watch these videos on Marvel Insider to win insider points. So these are just a simple kind of Q&A about the comic book universe. So here we go. Okay, so you just heard some of the actors from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the new series that is currently on Disney Plus. Next, we are going to be talking about a surprise guest from we saw on one of the recent episodes of Falcon and Soldier. We're going to be seeing you'll recognize it once I play it. So this is just a quick feature. It's only just a minute. Yeah, so those are just a little bit of some features and trailers for you. I'm also going to do some other stuff probably as well. So again, keep in mind, this is going to be the longest ever mega long video on channel Daniel Hutchins. So, with that being said, we're going to be talking about what the results were of the new X-Men team vote. Okay, so last month there was a survey which fans had to vote to see which they wanted to see in the X-Men. And the X-Men election was a pretty awesome experience from the whole X-Office at the Marvel offices in New York City. And some of all the other creators and editors had a blast seeing what fans' incredible responses were to this first-of-a-kind event, and we're right there along with you, rooting for your choices. It's a perfect way to kick off a new X-Men. Now, here are the results. Here are the final results. Coming up on number 1 is Polaris. Number 2, Banshee. Number 3, Sunspot. Number 4, Forge. Number 5, Tempo. Number 6, Armor. Number 7, Boom Boom. Number 8, Marrow. And then number 9, Cannonball. And number 10, Strong Guy. Yep, so now you have the X-Men votes are in. And again, this is a reboot of the X-Men. This is a reboot of the debut of the X-Men. And of course, Polaris was the winner. So kudos to the people who voted for Polaris. Because Polaris actually, he debuted in 1968. X-Men number 49, which was the very first time you saw Polaris. And if you know a little bit of comic book history about Polaris, you could feel free to drop that down in the box of comments below my video. Enough said about that. So the winner of the X-Men election was Polaris, which was kind of what I figured because it's been a character that's been talked about in and out of X-Men comics before in the past. So, kudos to that. And in case if you were wondering why I said he, I should have actually said she. because Polaris is actually a woman, not a man. So Polaris, I said he by accident, but it's supposed to say she because Polaris is a her, not a him. So I'm sorry about that. So moving on to the next article, we are going to be talking about some new soccer shoes that are X-Men shoes actually. And they're actually pretty cool. They have X-Men on them with the classic comic book blue and yellow. Nothing much about that, but you can pick up some styles from the Marvel shop if you want now. So if you shop online at the Marvel shop, you can pick up those X-Men Adidas shoes. They're actually really freaking cool actually. And it's not the first time Marvel had did exclusive item like that, so that's pretty good considering, you know, with the type of stuff you'll see. Also, Marvel has decided to make a back-to-school collection with all sorts of stickers and notebooks and all sorts of shit. And again, that's not really much. That's just some stuff that's kind of like, what the fuck? It's kind of like, school's not over yet, but it will be. And then now they're talking about back to school already. It's like, wow. I really think they're trying to rush it. But I don't care. I'm going to be done with school any time soon, so, you know. Alright, so we're just going to try to keep knocking out these activities. And there is a interesting character from the comic book universe from Women of Marvel, Sophie Campbell. Okay, so Sophie Campbell had created a bunch of characters, or was one of the artists and one of the founders or people who were in the group Women of Marvel #1, which is going on sale on April the 21st. And it's actually pretty interesting. Women of Marvel. There's also a really, really cool picture below. It has Elektra, it has Storm, Gamora, Valkyrie, Princess Shuri, and more. So again, this is just kind of just an interview about all the different women characters that are going to be in this new Women of Marvel book. It's actually going to be pretty cool. It's supposed to be coming at the end of the month. So keep your eyes for a lookout at your comic book store, because you might see a book that has all these women of the Marvel Universe. Okay. Moving right along. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so now we are just chilling like a villain on the corner of 5th Avenue in Maine, y'all, yeah. So, you know, like I said, it's all going alright, y'all. It's okay. Alright. So right now, I am actually taking a quiz right now, and then I'm going to let you know how I did on it. It's actually a quiz about Deadpool trivia. It's actually pretty hard, so I'll let you know how I did at the end then. This is a very, very hard test. Let me just tell you. This is a very hard test. Okay. Okay. So, not bad. I didn't do too bad on the Deadpool quiz. I got 3 out of the 5 answers correctly. The only ones I got wrong was the second one and the third one. And that was it. Pretty good though. I mean, my knowledge is still kind of there, but I don't really typically read a lot of Deadpool, if you really want to know the truth. Um, yeah, now we are going to be playing the next episode of the Marvel Earth Mighty show. hmm Oh my gosh, I think I just watched this one, but okay, I guess I watch it again. So, apparently, I just realized that I guess Marvel didn't save the video because I had to watch the Spider-Verse video again. So, obviously, I know all about the Spider-Verse because I have the book and I own the book. And I actually, in fact, got the Spider-Verse book back about when it first came out. Yeah, so that's just saying something. Okay, bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. I'm just trying to find some stuff. Most of these podcasts, I don't think you really want to listen to podcasts. So I'm moving right along with comics. Okay, so now we are going to be talking a little bit about Sharon Carter. Some of her best moments as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in comic book history. You can get a scoop of the Super Spy and Captain America frequent partner on Marvel Unlimited. And there was a pretty fucking hot picture of her down below. I'm going to probably be saving that as soon as I finish reading this to you. So who is Agent 13? That was a question that was answered in Captain America Steve Rogers. And again, the first time we laid eyes on Sharon Carter was in Tales of Suspense 1959. Particularly speaking, number 75. At that time, Rogers didn't even know the mystery woman's name, or the connection to Peggy Carter. Simply reminded him of someone he couldn't place. So Sharon and Steve eventually became really close. She shared her tightly hid secrets while working alongside him as an agent from S.H.I.E.L.D. So over the years, the two formed a romantic bond between each other. They have been challenged many times, including the mutual apparent deaths, and Sharon has also cemented her status in Marvel history as one of the very, very top-of-the-notch spies in the world, and earned her place among the Earth's Mightiest Heroes in 2010's Secret Avengers. Now, that's pretty special if you ask me. So then, we celebrate Sharon Carter and her legacy. Marvel Unlimited is taking a look back at the key developments in her life. It's been a wild and strange journey for the S.H.I.E.L.D. operative and super spy, but Agent 13 is almost always comes out on the top. Partners in Danger, which was in Tales of Suspense 1959, number 75, was when he was taken back from the resemblance of Peggy Carter, an undercover operative from World War II whom he fell in love with many years ago. As it may have happened, Sharon was already operating as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent using her codename Agent 13. Steve had saved Sharon from Hydra's machinations shortly after their first encounter. While Sharon knew about Steve from her Aunt Peggy's inspiring stories, he remained in the dark about her identity, even as they enter the romance of their own. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So then, of course, finally in Captain America 1968, number 103, Sharon was able to fully reveal her identity to Steve and confirm that her growing connection. Then we go into the Femme Force, which was pretty hard to believe, but S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't always welcoming female recruits. Which I kind of think is kind of weird, but okay. So anyway, in Captain America 1968, number 144, President Nixon has authorized Sharon to lead a new group of S.H.I.E.L.D. called the Femme Force. It was an all-female squad of commandos who were assigned to take down Hydra. Okay, so it was also meant as an initiative to train more female SHIELD agents for active duty. Thereafter, Sharon resigned from SHIELD in Captain America 1968's number 153 to further explore her relationship with Steve. But she wouldn't be out of the game for long. Because she'll always be rolling back again. The death of Sharon Carter. Now this is different. This is Captain America 1968, number 162. Sharon first encountered Dr. Faustus, which was an evil master of mind control, who has proven to be a constant thorn in Sharon's side, ultimately responsible for her death. Sharon and Steve thought that they had defeated Faustus in issue number 236, only to the surprise that Steve to receive the shocking news of Sharon's demise. In issue number 237, through Faustus' machinations, Sharon was seemingly incinerated. The footage of this event drove Steve to despair. And of course, he was crying. Crying really, 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 really much. Okay, then we go The Return. Okay, so for years, Steve Rogers believed that Sharon had perished. However, later it was revealed in Captain America 1968, number 444, that Sharon was, in fact, still alive, after an elaborate faked-out staged by Nick Fury. But from her time away from Cap, Sharon developed a harder edge and grew emotionally distant from Steve. Regardless of the fact, the two had teamed up to take down the Red Skull just like the old days. Yep. So slowly, Sharon and Steve started to rebuild their bond all the way through issue number 454. Now, unfortunately, Steve's demise in the Onslaught saga once again had separated them, while Captain America and his allies were trapped in the world of Heroes Reborn. Sharon was forced to rebuild her life alone. And of course, it wasn't easy, like you might have think. But director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Sharon and Steve subsequently reunited in Captain America 1998, number 1, and she returned to active duty as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent from a sign of her growing importance within this organization. Okay, so Nick Fury picked Sharon to serve as executive director of S.H.I.E.L.D. during his absence in issue number 31. It was during this time that Sharon and Steve defined their relationship after challenging what are we conversations from in the Savage Land. The death of Captain America. Yep. This was another sad event. When Faustus returned to employ the Red Skull, he brainwashed Sharon again to serve as operative inside S.H.I.E.L.D. Much to Sharon's horror, Faustus' control over her mind was so complete that she didn't initially realize she was the one who pulled the trigger and seemingly assassinated Steve in Captain America 2005, number 25. Okay, so Sharon fought to regain control of her mind, ultimately worked side by side with Winter Soldier and the Falcon against Red Skull, but in fact it was Sharon who discovered that Steve's death wasn't what it had seemed. So then in Captain America Reborn 2009, it was revealed that the gun Sharon used to display Steve in time as part of Red Skull's master plan, fortunately, the indomitable hearts of Cap and Sharon once again triumphed over evil. Secret Avenger. Now this was in 2010. and they had a series run from number 1 to number 21. This comic goes beyond the scopes of the Earth's Mightiest Heroes with a great mission and with great dispatches. Okay, nothing much about that. So, Lost in Dimension Z. This was in Captain America 2012. Steve Rogers' Super Soldier Serum was rendered inert. He aged several decades in process. Sharon suffered a similar fate in Captain America 2012 number 10 when she got stuck in Dimension Z, which was Arnim Zola's genetically modified world. It was revealed in issue number 24 that Sharon was still alive and physically aged because of her years spent in the strange realm of mutates and time warps. In spite of this, Steve and Sharon's love for each other persevered. It's kind of weird. So, Daughter of Liberty. When a restored Steve Rogers was branded a murderer following events of Secret Empire, Sharon took action to clear his name. Toward the end, Captain America 2018 number 7 introduced Sharon's new team, the Daughters of Liberty. This group took the name of the organization he was dating back from centuries before. From the modern team, Sharon included Mockingbird, Echo, Agatha Harkness, Misty Knight, and Spider-Woman, among many others. Amazingly, this group leader, the Dryad, turned out to be Sharon's aunt, Peggy Carter. There you go. Next, we go Iron Patriot. Sharon never let her age get in the way of duty. But she wasn't restored in her youthful self until Captain America 2018, number 23, through a combination of Shuri's magic that is not yet understood. From this same issue, Sharon donned the Iron Patriot armor to save Steve and wrote yet another memorable chapter in her heroic career. And it was kind of interesting. So if you want to read more about Captain America and Sharon Carter moments, check out Marvel Unlimited, because you could read the top comic book picks again on Marvel Unlimited. And you can dive into the adventures of Agent 13 and the page of Captain America 2018. So, yeah. Then there's this whole list of books down below that it had referenced, of course. Tales of Suspense 1959, number 75. Tales of Suspense 1959, number 92. Captain America 1968, number 103. Captain America 1968, number 144. Captain America 1968, number 445. Captain America 1998, number 31. And many others. So again, there you go. That is a little bit of information about Sharon Carter. We are going back to the homepage of Marvel Insider to try to do some more activities because we really want to. Oh, looks like I got to sign in again. Okay. Luckily, I have my network. It has saved my password, so every time I sign in, I just enter with my password. Now, the time check right now, we are about going into 37 minutes in this video. And I plan to at least go at least an hour. So, we have a little bit yet. We're going to be doing a little bit more Marvel Insider. And then I have some other stuff I want to do. Okay. Maybe we just wrap this up on Marvel Insider tonight with a long story short explaining something that you might like. Okay. Right. Now, Now for a quick intermission. I'm going to be using the bathroom during intermission, and if you guys need to use the bathroom during intermission, you guys can. So I'm going to pause this. We are back. So I just wanted to show you a couple of long story short episodes on Marvel.com. And now we are going to be doing something else. Alright. Okay. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is... Hold on. Okay. Okay. So now, the next article we're going to be talking about is the Eternals. So these are just some updates on the Eternals. The Eternals are rebooted. They never die, they never win. Who are the Eternals? You could find out on our friend Marvel Unlimited. Keep in mind this was from a couple days ago, and there are some spoilers. Okay. I'm just going to read this information for you. Okay, so new on Marvel Unlimited. Long time ago, alien space gods came to Earth. They made 100 Eternals. They made 100 Deviants. Then they left. From this expansive minds of some artist comes an iconic new vision of the classic Marvel mythology, Eternals 2021, which ushers in a bold chapter of the immortal race of super beings, plus from an inside look of the clandestine, forgotten worlds. What would you do if your very purpose, your intelligent design, was called into question? Following their mass death in pages of Avengers 2018, number 4, the Eternals face resurrection on the orders of the Eternal Prime. Since Akiris was the last to die, he's also the last to return, because only death is eternal. Okay, so there are a bunch of takeaways from Eternals number 1. First of them being the mission statement. Protect Celestials, protect machine, correct access deviation. That's basically all that was. So next is Resurrection of Sprite. Okay. Of course, he is a young Eternal and is a very naughty Eternal, and grew up with an Eternal station and sought to destroy machines, which were essential modes to transport the source of Eternal's molecular transfiguration to the machine near destruction, threaten their entire way of life, but Eternal Prime Zoris believes that Sprite is ready for a reckoning, at least he hopes. Next, we have Earth is Watching. So this also includes Tony Stark. He gets into this as well. And he gets involved in this. And he tries to figure out what's been going on with the Eternals. Next, we have the excess deviation, which, of course, is a bunch of primordial beasts that roam the Earth, but the Eternals are committed to make sure they do not spread. And they were genetic tampering from millions and millions of years ago. Okay? So next is the death of Eternal Prime. So this is very disturbing for Phastos and the Eternals of Olympia. Now they have no leader and seeking answers via a displacement network, meaning that a murder must have some trace of eternal lineage. But who in all the cosmos would be such a cold, calculating turncoat to their own kind? Thanos. Next we have Thanos. Following distorted energy signature from the machines, a curious and sprite trails Earth's assassin to Eternal's fallen capital to Thanos. And who should be laying there but the cousin Thanos? The Mad Titan shares a genetic link to Eternals via paternal bloodline. Since his alien father was a brother of Zeus, the issue's end is revealed that Thanos is behind his uncle's demise, setting up Achilles for the fight he's been waiting for on a millennium. But wait, isn't Thanos supposed to be dead? That's a good question. So you are going to find out more with the Eternals. Hopefully with their stories you'll be able to find some more information. And I would also have to say that there's a pretty large chance that Thanos is going to be in the Eternals movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is just speculation though, but I'm thinking it's a pretty big chance that Thanos will return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But probably for Eternals, of course. Okay, next we are going to be talking about... Next we are going to be talking about Morbius. Now, Morbius is supposed to be a Sony Marvel project, and it is supposed to pair with Jared Leto, and it delays release date. Okay, so Sony has postponed the theatrical release of Morbius, the comic book thriller starring Jared Leto, as studios continue to grapple with pandemic's impact from the film industry. This movie, which has been delayed numerous times amidst the COVID-19 crisis, was most recently scheduled to debut on March the 19th. It will now premiere in theaters on October the 8th. Most of these movies were once scheduled for early 2021, have already been pushed back due to the pandemic. However, there are several titles still on the calendar for the first few months of the year, including Camila Cabello's Cinderella, also from Sony, February 5th, Disney and 20th Century Fox Kingsman. On March 12th, curiously, Sony did not mention plans for Cinderella, but in Monday's announcement, though it's unlikely this fantasy adaptation will keep its February release date unless it was sent to a streaming service or lands on premium video on demand early, which is a really good chance. I don't know yet, but again. Morbius, also directed by Daniel Espinosa and written by Matt Shazama and Brooke Sharpless, based on Marvel comic character, the superhero film centers on a biochemist who becomes a vampire after attempting to cure himself from a rare blood disease. Leto portrays Michael Morbius alongside a cast which includes Matt Smith, Jared Harris, and Tyrese Gibson. Morbius was a notorious Spider-Man villain, which hails from Sony's arsenal of Marvel characters. While Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies have ties to Disney, owned Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sony is attempting to launch its own interconnected comic book universe with Leto's anti-hero and Venom, the alien symbiote portrayed by Tom Hardy. Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which will be a sequel to the studio's 2018 surprise hit, which is expected to release in summer of 2021, though the delay of Morbius may change some of those plans. So there you go. That is a little bit of some updates on new Sony Morbius. Okay, we are about 58 minutes in. We are going to try to find another article. Okay, we are going to look for, on that note, about Sony, we are going to be talking a little bit about Venom 2. Okay, so Venom 2 release date delayed by a week. Okay, so this release of Venom Let There Be Carnage has been delayed 1 week from September 17th to September 24th. Which doesn't seem like that's a big deal, but it kind of is a big deal. But the sequel, which stars Tom Hardy, was most recently pushed to September from June 25th due to COVID-19 pandemics. The 1 week delay of Venom 2 means the movie will no longer premiere on the same day as the murder mystery Death in the Nile, an animated children's film, The Boss Baby Family Business. Other films opening on September 24th also include Dear Evan Hansen, The Sopranos prequel film, and Many Saints of Newark. However, with its late September release date, this will ensure that the film has ample space between other big names like the James Gunn Suicide Squad on August the 6th and Denis Villeneuve's long-awaited Dune on October the 1st. The follow-up to 2018 Venom, directed by Andy Serkis, sees Hardy reprising his role as the alien symbiote, who originally appears as one of Spider-Man's arch enemies, but takes on this role of an anti-hero in his titular films. The first Venom film was a hit at the box office, raking in about $855 million globally. Venom 2 also stars Woody Harrelson as Carnage, Michelle Williams as Anne, Ray Scott as Dan Lewis, and Naomi Harris as Shriek. Now, this film features a screenplay by Kelly Marshall from a story by Marshall and Hardy. It's produced by Marshall, Hardy, Avi Arad, Matt Tomlich, Amy Pascal, and Hutch Parker. Barry Waldman, Jonathan Cavendish, Ruben Fleischer, Edward Chang, Howard Chen serve as executive producers. Marco Beltrami is composing the music for this film. Okay. So the film distributes next wide domestic theatrical releases. We have Mortal Kombat coming off on April 23rd. Wrath of Man, May 7th. Spiral, May 14th. Cruella, May 28th. A Quiet Place Part 2, May 28th. Spirit Untamed, June 4th. Vivo, June 4th. Free Guy, August 13th. This was from a source of Variety Business Intelligence, and these were dates that were official since April the 12th of 2021. You could read more about Venom 2 on different sources and different websites. So again, there is a lot of things supposedly going on with delays with some of the Sony movies and some other movies as well. Next, we are going to be talking about is... Okay. Hold on, guys. I am just going to look up something that I haven't probably talked to you guys all about in a while. We're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, cast, release, and more. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, cast, release date, and everything you need to know. This was from last year. So, keep in mind, this is an old article, but I wanted to kind of fit it in for you guys, so you guys kind of have an idea about it again. Okay, so, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is likely still at least 2 years away. It's definitely coming with any comfort, that is. It was originally thought to be a prequel, could be out this year, or one of the first movies of Phase 4. But then again, there are a whole behind-the-scenes drama of the firing and rehiring of the writer and director James Gunn, which we know that whole thing was a fucking conspiracy from the beginning. So, that delayed things somewhat, but then especially as Gunn went off to make Suicide Squad for competitor DC. However, Marvel Studio boss Kevin Feige did confirm at Comic-Con of 2019 that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will still happen. But when can we expect it, and what could we expect from it? Here's everything we need to know about the long-awaited return of Star-Lord, Gamora, and company. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 release date. When is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 released? That's a really good question. So as of right now, we don't have an actual release date, but Gunn had confirmed that the movie won't be in cinemas until a little after 2021. Gunn also responded to reports that filming was going to start in February of 2021, but saying they were not and was never accurate, although he reassured his fans that the movie hasn't been delayed from the current Marvel plans. Well, I would hope not, but then I can confirm that the plans for when we're filming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and when it's being released has not changed at all over the past year and a half or so. So any rumors otherwise would be false, he said on August 2020. He said this tweet on Twitter many months ago. He said, "Thanks, friend. I can confirm that the plans for when we're filming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, when it's being released, have not changed at all over the past year and a half or so. So any rumors otherwise you hear would be false. I appreciate your caution." And this was from James Gunn himself. Okay, so where does this leave Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Okay, so Disney currently has a few release date slots for untitled Marvel movies of October 7th, 2022, February 17th, 2023, May 5th, 2023, July 28th of 2023, and November the 3rd of 2023. But our best guess is probably the July 28th of 2023, which would be the perfect slot to fit with the other two movies' summer releases. But right now, it all depends on when this filming begins. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 cast who's back in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. In the aftermath of Endgame, a lot has changed from the Guardians, particularly in Gamora. It is also alive again in MCU, only it's Gamora from a past timeline in 2014, meaning she doesn't have the history with the Guardians. So Sadana has said she'd want to explore Bad Gamora in the third Guardians movie, and they said we'd totally be up for that. Okay, that's a little bit weird, but okay. So Star-Lord, Peter Quill, Chris Pratt, Drax, Dave Bautista, Mantis, Palm Cook, Fiendruff, and Groot, voiced by Vin Diesel, are all back in one piece after a snap. Rejoining Rocket with the legendary voice of Bradley Cooper, the motion capture talents of Sean Gunn, and Nebula Karen Gillan. Related to this article is how Avengers Endgame set it up for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about something completely different. So taken on to Instagram, as Gunn won't do, the director revealed that he had the most fun writing Nebula and Rocket's arcs. He still had plenty of material to work with in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, though. He added, "I also think we have great things coming up for the others, like Quill and Mantis. All of their story arcs take place over the 3 films as opposed to in only the individual movies." It seems, though, that the Guardians picked up a new team member, too, in the form of Thor, Chris Hemsworth, so we can expect him to be along in the ride in the third movie. But Hemsworth is also appearing in Thor: Love and Thunder. Whether this was before his adventures with the Guardians remains to be seen, which should be pretty awesome. So, regardless, Guardians star Vin Diesel has confirmed that some of the cast will also appear in Thor: Love and Thunder. Sean Gunn will apparently be back as Kraglin, Yondu's one-time Ravager pal. He was in Infinity War, but has important stuff to do, he said. So Gunn said that he wants Elizabeth Debicki to reprise her role as the golden-skinned high priestess to Sovereign, Ayesha. She'll have a significant part to play, as we see in a bit. Okay, so Debicki certainly seems up for a return as well, which is actually pretty nice. So we can expect to see her back. I would love, even if I sort of scooch on for a second, I would love to come back, she said. Gunn also wanted Sylvester the card to come back at some point in MCU's future as well. Alongside with fellow Ravagers Alita Ogard, Michelle Yeoh, Charlie 27, Ving Rhames, Mainframe voiced by Miley Cyrus, Martinex, Michael Rosenbaum in the MCU future. Now that's different, but okay. So could we be seeing Marvel comic characters Moondragon, High Evolutionary, and Lady Lila in prequel as well? Right now, it's just rumors. But don't be discouraged, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 plot will have some sort of story. But of course, Gunn said that the film will serve as an epic conclusion to the story he began from the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy, and has dispelled a couple rumors or claims from other folks from Marvel that the film might be set before Infinity War. It's different. He said that the movie will bring up to the end of a current iteration of the team, adding who knows will take up the mantle after that, which would be interesting. So in June 2020, though, Gunn wasn't quite as confident that this was the end. It's probably my last one, though, and probably the last with this current team. But you never know what the possibilities are. We've also managed to piece together the fact that the film will set at least 4 years after the events of Guardians 2, as well as after the events of Infinity War and its sequel. So after Endgame, it looks like the third movie will revolve around the search for Gamora as she disappeared after this big battle with Thanos. So Gunn has noted that if he didn't get to do this third movie, he would have been most disappointed at not finishing Rocket's arc. So expect more from Rocket in the third movie, maybe even his whole full backstory. So getting back to Aisha, as he promised, you will probably remember that one of the 5 mid-credit scenes saw the villain gazing at a cocoon which contained Adam. That is Adam Warlock, a long-standing Marvel cosmic hero, with connections to Aisha. She is the female counterpart in the comics. Gunn said that he was originally intended to feature in Guardians 2, but will instead appear in the later film. This expectation is that Aisha will be setting him on the tracks of her enemies, the Guardians. Although Gunn later played down the rumor, Warlock also has a connection to the Infinity Gems, or Infinity Stones, in the MCU, but didn't show up in Infinity War or Endgame. Okay? So there's more tweets by him down below, which I don't have to read, because it's just kind of telling you more about the Ravagers and Adam Warlock. It's not really too much you're missing there. It's because I just read that information. So in terms of other characters, don't be holding out for one classic Guardians member, the time-traveling Vance Astro. Now, somewhere in the Guardians' future, we've been promised the horrible origin of Rocket Raccoon. Gunn has also been narrowing down the ever-important playlist for Guardians 3, although at 181, he has a way to go yet. He says, I have it down to 181 songs. That list could get longer, though, he said on Twitter. Gunn had promised endings and new beginnings for Guardians 3, which was originally meant to set up the future of MCU. But with these delays, perhaps that's not the case anymore. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, will there be any footage? That's a good question. It's not even close to filming, let alone starting filming, so we'll be waiting a while for footage for Guardians 3, unfortunately. If our release date guess is accurate, then maybe in Comic-Con 2022 will be where the first trailers debut. But we could hope we don't have to wait that long. So, yeah, guys, that is all the information we know so far about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So we are about an hour and 14 now minutes of this video. So we're going to be doing a little bit more. Again, this is going to be the longest video ever. I'm just going to figure out some more stuff. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to be talking about something else that's kind of crazy. Okay? So hang on to your hats. There's something more that I'm going to talk about. So breaking news back from 2016, Tim Robbins in talks to return for Howard the Duck sequel. Okay, so you would have never thought that I did this, but this is it now. This is going to be some crazy article that I'm going to read to you guys about Howard the Duck. Most people have forgot about Howard the Duck, so I figured I'd talk about him. So an actor will possibly return for a sci-fi comic book sequel. Now we know Variety reported today, or back from 2016 when this article was created, that another update of J.J. Abrams had decided to produce a sequel to the 1986 notorious Marvel comic bombshell we know and beloved cult film Howard the Duck. It seems actor Tim Robbins also appeared in Howard's friend and foil Philzy Blumberg, an original science fiction comedy classic, and being rude for a return, reprising his role. He couldn't imagine not being there, but in some way Abrams says he wants him there. So we're close to signing. The bastard has so many demands, but at the end of the day, it's like when I was doing The Force Awakens, y'all know, no Han Solo, no Harrison, no movie. Same goes with Tim. Fans would kill me if I left him out of this. So, the film, tentatively titled Howard the Duck 2, Return to Duck World, is aiming to go into production in July in New Zealand. Directed by newcomer Smithson Allen, whose popular Howard the Duck viral fan films got him a gig. There are more updates when we get them, but there is also this video down below. And so yeah, that is a little bit of information about what we might see from Howard the Duck. Next we're going to be talking about is Dr. Octopus's return in Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay. Alfred Molina discusses Doc Ock's possible return in Spider-Man No Way Home. Even if rumors of previous web-swingers Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield proved false, which probably we don't know yet, but audiences have a lot to look forward to with Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx reprising their villainous turns as Dr. Octopus and Electro for the Tom Holland-fronted Spider-Man No Way Home. Now the former has opened up for his return. Related to this article is Tom Holland confirms Spider-Man contract is ending after No Way Home. But again, that's probably going to be another day. I'm not going to be talking about that today, but it'll be in the future. So, on with the rest of the article. In an interview with Variety, Molina described returning as the role as the wonderful Dr. Octopus, given after his death in the second installment of Sam Raimi's trilogy, to which Watts said, "In this universe, no one really dies, and will pick up following his death from the film. While this time-bending, multiverse-spanning approach could have put some stars off, it was a fact that Molina had aged in over 15 years since Spider-Man 2 hit theaters in 2004. He just looked at me and said, 'Did you see what we did to Bob Downey Jr. and Sam Jackson? Milena said, referring to the de-aging technology and studio utilized the Tony Stark performer in 2016 Captain Civil War and Nick Fury in 2019 Captain Marvel. They made Robert De Niro's face younger, but when he was fighting, he looked like an older guy. He looked like an old guy. That's what worried me the most about doing it again. I don't have the same physicality that I had 17 years ago, and that's just a fact. So interestingly enough, despite from most of the sources confirming that Milena and Fox would be starring in the film, with Zendaya also referencing working with Milena in conversation with promising young woman co-star Carey Mulligan, neither have even actually officially confirmed by Sony Pictures or Marvel Studios, while these rumors regarding Maguire and Garfield have been played down from Holland himself. Now, plot details on Spider-Man No Way Home are still under some wraps, but it's expected to see the titular wall crawler team up with Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange to face off against Jamie Foxx's Electro, though with the ending of Far From Home putting Peter's secret identity out to the world and the film's reported ties to the multiverse shenanigans of Cumberbatch MCU sequel, any number of his rogue gallery could show up for a fight, which is the awesome thing about this movie, of course. Alongside Holland and Cumberbatch, the film is confirmed to see the returns of Zendaya, Peter's girlfriend and classmate MJ, Jacob Italians, which is 50 States of Fright, as Peter's best friend Ned, Marissa Tomei, the King of Staten Island, Peter's Aunt May, Tony Rivera, the French Dispatch, and Peter's classmate, rival Eugene Flash Thompson, and Hannibal Buress as Peter's gym teacher, Coach Wilson. Related to this article is poll results. Who should play the live-action Miles Morales? Now that's going to be another video in the future. But of course, originally scheduled for July 16th, 2021 release, Spider-Man No Way Home was first pushed again back to November 5th and is now going to a December 17th, 2021 release date. And there's actually a slideshow of pictures below. Okay, so there you go. That is a little bit of some Howard the Duck and Spider-Man information. We are already an hour and 21 minutes in this video. Again, this is going to be the longest video ever. Okay, so we're going to be doing a few more, and then I'm going to take a break. Okay, so no. Okay. Okay, now we are going to be talking about a show from Information Movie Database, the reviews about Batman Unlimited, the animated TV series from 2015 and 2016. Now it has a 6.9 out of 10 stars on a rating scale. So this actually has, so this has 2 seasons, and it also has 10 episodes with Batman in 2015, and 5 episodes with Red Robin in 2015. And there's also more articles and stuff down below, but we're going to ignore that. Okay, so the storyline of this Batman. Okay, so this merchandise show displays short episodic battles and other encounters around Batman and his Bat family, like Nightwing, Red Robin, and Robin. The episodes managed without dialogues. There's also a plot summary, but I'm not going to be talking about that just for sake of time. But did you know that this will be Freddy's, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, 3rd time acting and a Batman cartoon show. Will Friedle voiced Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, as well as playing villain Gearhead in the Batman. Bet you guys didn't know that, so again, there are also some user reviews. So this person said, this is better than Teen Titans Go. I actually think these shorts, considering that they are only 2 or 3 minutes long, are actually better than Teen Titans Go, which I think is just utter garbage. But the stories are well planned, the animation's good, the voice actors are good considering they rarely hear the characters speak, but in the long run, at least the characters aren't chibi like they are in Justice League Action and Teen Titans Go. So again, there is all this other crap I don't have to read about this Batman series that I'm reading about on information database, and it's basically talking all about Batman Unlimited, which is basically this animated series, and it's a bunch of shorts, and there are only 33 episodes in count. Right, okay, we're going to be doing one more thing. Okay. Now we are going to be talking about something different. Okay, so now we are on Cinema Blend for a final article for this mega long article video. But keep in mind, I played some videos on Marvel Insider, so don't forget I had those too. But okay, so the final activity I'm going to be saying on this mega long video is about Star Wars. Particularly Star Wars The Galaxy's Edge from Disney World and Disneyland. This is Disney World versus Disneyland, how Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was different at each theme park. So okay, when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was first announced, it was a huge deal. It was an entire land dedicated to Star Wars. It was one of the largest expansions that Disney theme parks has ever seen. Even more, both Disneyland Resort in California and Walt Disney World in Florida were getting this new land, making it much easier for guests to explore the galaxy far, far away. We were also told that these two lands would have all the same stuff, so everybody could visit whichever land was easiest to turn up. And yet again, we have, while it's certainly true that both versions of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge have Millennium Falcon Smuggler Run and Rise of Resistance, each one has a place to build a lightsaber, or a droid. The truth of these two lands aren't exactly identical. To be sure that, the differences are minor, and aren't likely to drastically impact your trip. But there are differences, so we can take a look. The layout of Disney World and Disneyland is slightly different. Now, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge takes just about the same amount of space at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. In fact, if you were standing in the middle of a black spire outpost, the two locations would look largely identical. However, the further out you go, the more differences you'll see. This outpost itself is largely the same, but the surrounding countryside, the Galaxy's Edge, is so big there is countryside, is a bit different. You'll find an A-Wing and X-Wing fighters on display in both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, in their respective locations, especially to the relation of Rise of Resistance, are slightly different. If you've been to one of the Galaxy's Edge, and you find yourself walking through the other, it feels different enough that you might vaguely be confused, almost as if something was in the wrong place. But don't worry, because there is some information I want to say. So the color scheme is different at both theme parks. So while both theme parks are supposed to be representing the same place, a planet called Batuu, at the same time, a spot in Star Wars timeline between Last Jedi and the recent one, Rise of Skywalker, they don't exactly look the same. The colors used in Disney's Hollywood studios pop a bit more, while at Disneyland, the stone that makes up the exterior of the Black Spire Outpost is just more muted. More than likely, this was done to help the land stand out more in a wildly different climates of Southern California and Central Florida. Yet that's not all. Even very specific choices, like say, the look at a pod racer engine being used to cook meat on a Ronto roasters, isn't the same in both spots. Disneyland's engine, like the rest of the land, is more pale blue. But the engine has been sitting out in the sun for a long time. The coloring at Hollywood Studios is a lot more darker. And that's not all. They're technically not even the same engine, as the Airbus symbol on the two engines is not the same. Disneyland has an additional entrance. So while both Walt Disney World and Disneyland's version of Galaxy's Edge take about the same amount of space, in an odd way, the version at Disney World actually feels smaller. That's probably because the version at Disneyland actually has 3 exits into the rest of the park, while the one at Walt Disney World only has 2. Disney World offers a tunnel from the Grand Avenue near Muppet Vision 3D, as well as a path that drops you right into Toy Story Land. So by this comparison, at Disneyland, there's a path from Critter Country approximately in the same spot where the Grand Avenue entrance from Walt Disney World is, and another from the edge of Frontierland, in about the same spot where Disney Hollywood Studios has Toy Story Land exit. However, at Disneyland, there's a 3rd exit, a massive doorway in Black Spire Outpost that leads to a path between Frontierland and Fantasyland. While Disney World's Black Spire Outpost has the same doorway, but the door's shut. Next, Disney's Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios has alcoholic blue and green milk. So Star Wars Galaxy's Edge made history at Disneyland, where Oga's Cantina became the first place the general public could buy alcohol. Inside this park, since it was opened in 1955, it was a pretty big deal, because alcohol was limited to a cantina. And guests couldn't take it to a park proper, and maybe wasn't quite as a big deal as it could have been. But by comparison, Disney Hollywood Studios, being a park built without Walt Disney's specific input, has always served alcohol. And that means that, of course, also has a full-service Oga's Cantina, but it also has more, specifically the major beverage option unique to this area, blue and green milk, which can be purchased with or without alcohol. Blue milk is available with rum, and green milk is purchased with tequila. Word to the wise, mix your alcoholic milk well before you drink. Only Walt Disney World's Galaxy's Edge is getting the Galactic Star Cruiser. Okay, so this is a little bit of a current difference, but it's on the way, and when it gets here, it's going to be huge. Only Walt Disney World is getting the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, a new location that is equal parts hotel and theme park in its own right. This spot will see guests take the roles of travelers aboard a luxury Star Cruiser, being able to take advantage of various amenities and activities over the course of a couple days. One of those activities include a shore excursion to the planet Batuu. While it's unclear that any difference, if any, the Galactic Star Cruiser will play for those who aren't actually staying there, I think it'd be a very cool difference. For those who are in presence will certainly be felt by the invisible, and it will likely make Galaxy's Edge feel very different at Walt Disney World, since there won't be a corresponding location at Disneyland. Unless you are desperate for a shot of rum in your blue milk, and if you are, maybe look into that. These differences between the two lands are unlikely, but yet they really make you have a different experience. At the same time, each of these differences is very noticeable. If you go to Galaxy's Edge at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, then much of Disneyland and Magic Kingdom may feel pretty similar. But they will also feel strangely different, like you stepped into a parallel universe and found yourself in a slightly different version of a place you thought you knew so well. So why Star Wars Galaxy's Edge ditched the original Tatooine design? That is the next article I'm going to read. Now I'm sorry, I lied to you guys. I'm actually going to be doing some more. I'm really, really sorry. Again, this is very, very awesome information. So, just keeping y'all guys in foot now. So why Star Wars Galaxy's Edge ditched the original Tatooine design? Again, this was last year's news. Okay, so Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was the most ambitious project ever undertaken by Walt Disney Imagineering. This new land created an entirely new planet in Star Wars universe so that guests could live out their own Star Wars adventures. Various people involved in this project are both on Disney and Lucasfilm sides, and previously talked about the fact that creating a known Star Wars location in these parks has been considered. But now we know that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was very nearly made to be Tatooine, and we know why this plan was changed. Okay, so these are some secrets that you guys probably don't even know. Some of you guys might know, but some of you might not. But nearly everything about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, a Disney Hollywood studio at Walt Disney World, was different during the initial design phase. So, little-known secrets. Former Walt Disney World Vice President Dan Cockrell appeared on WDW Radio and discussed the fact that rather than being a part of expansion to a park, originally the new Star Wars land was going to take over the part of the park called Echo Lake, meaning that this land would have replaced existing attractions like Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. In addition, familiar places like Luke Skywalker's home would have been part of this land, according to Cockerell. So we did it for a couple years, and we had an epic theater, the Indiana Jones Theater. That was going to be the heart of Star Wars land. That was going to go away, and we were going to plug it right in there. The Mos Eisley Cantina was going to be right across the Star Tours. We had all these kinds of great concepts too. So suddenly, a lot of this design made some sense, but of course putting the Star Wars land in Echo Lake allows Star Tours, an existing Star Wars attraction in the park, to connect to the new land, becoming part of it, now both at Disneyland and Disney World. The ride sits by itself and now feels a bit out of place, but not being a part of Galaxy's Edge. So these ideas were worked for about 2 years, and then everything took a major turn. Dan Cockle said that the shift to something entirely new for this land came from Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy. Following this meeting from Bob Iger, Cockrell goes on. He says, "They said, well, yesterday Bob Iger met with Kathleen Kennedy, who, as a lot of people may know, was Sir George Lucas's protege and headed up Lucasfilms. And they had a conversation. They had a meeting, and Kathleen Kennedy, her point of view, was that there are way more Disney Star Wars stories ahead of us than behind us. So we really should think about, do we want to build a Tatooine and build what all the 50-somethings remember Star Wars is? Or do we want to build something else, which is going to appeal to all the upcoming generations who are going to know the new stories?" And that day, Tatooine was killed at the studios. And all those concepts were put on a shelf. I'm sure they are sitting in a vault though, but I'm sure they're going to be shown someday about what this land would have looked like and what the attractions were going to be. Now that's really awesome. So, Dan Cockle says that these sorts of changes happen a lot with Walt Disney Imagineering. In fact, So while many were frustrated with the day that the fact that 2 years of work had to be redone, they came back to work the next day just as excited to get started on the new concepts this change would create. Now it's hard to argue that Kathleen Kennedy's logic, of course how awesome she is. Disney had also created almost as many Star Wars movies in the few years since buying Lucasfilms as George Lucas made in decades previously. Now, eventually, the original and prequel trilogies will be small but a part of a larger Star Wars universe. So building a theme park land that will one day assume last for decades, that is dedicated to be the oldest part of the franchise, wasn't as necessarily the best long-term plan. So still, it would be great to see what some of the original plans for this land were, as Dan Crackle said himself. Unused ideas often find their way back into parks one way or another. While we might not see exactly the concepts for the first 2 years of Star Wars land design, we could very well see basic concepts and ride designs used in new ways. Okay. So there you go, guys. That is just a little bit of some information I wanted to share to you guys. We are almost 20 minutes short of 2 hours. So I just want to kind of let you know that this was a lot of information for you guys to process. And I'm just going to probably relax and just probably kind of switch gears and do something cool. Do something else that's cool. I'm not going to stop doing things that are cool. I'm going to keep doing things that are cool. And again, you guys, if you guys love my content, please, please, please hit a thumbs up if you liked. If you didn't, that's okay. And again, if you guys have any comments of anything I mentioned in this video at all, please drop them down below. I'd love to hear what some of your guys' ideas are. Because I would love to hear what some of your ideas are, because that way it'll get me thinking, oh yeah, this subscriber wants this, and that subscriber wants that. So you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you comment on my videos, or else I'm not going to know what type of ideas you guys want. So that's when you kind of know that, kind of just to be helpful to y'all. So then again, you guys, make sure you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening, and you guys, hopefully you should see some more videos tomorrow. Or maybe I might do one later again tonight. I don't know yet. Again, keep your eyes out for more videos, and I'll catch you in a little while. Talk to you soon. Bye.